Yep, it says webinar is now streaming live on YouTube.
Still connecting on my end.
Okay. Up in the top screen, it says live on YouTube. We live now?
We are now live.
Okay, I will call
Recording.
this. Okay, very good. I will call the 7 p.m. work session meeting to order. Can I get a roll call, please?
Certainly. Mr. Boonstra?
Here. Here.
Ms. Fisher?
Here.
Ms. Rubenstein?
Here.
Mr. Madigan?
Yeah.
Mayor Shanley?
Here. Can you read the open work session statement, please?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Please take notice that in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6 et sec, and in consideration of Executive Order Number 103 issued by Governor Murphy on March 9th, 2020, declaring a state of emergency in the state of New Jersey, the Township Committee of the Township of Wyckoff does hereby notify the public that to protect the health, safety, and welfare of our citizens, the continued functioning of government, the meeting of the Township Committee of the Township of Wyckoff scheduled for 8 p.m. Tuesday, May 19th, 2020 at Wyckoff Town Hall, 340 Franklin Avenue, Wyckoff, New Jersey, will be conducted virtually through Zoom technology and will be live streamed on the Township's YouTube channel. Due to the COVID-19 public health emergency, members of the public will not have access to Town Hall. These measures are implemented to allow members of the public to observe via live streaming and to provide the ability to comment during the periods for public comment during the meeting through Zoom telephone call-in technology. Joining the meeting by telephone will be utilized as security against the sharing of inappropriate video content. General instructions regarding access to the meeting will be posted on the Wyckoff website's homepage at www.wyckoff-nj.com as a news item on Friday, May 15th, 2020 at 4:30 p.m. To view the live stream Township Committee meeting, please access the YouTube link, which will be posted on the Wyckoff website's homepage at wyckoff-nj.com as a news item immediately prior to the commencement of the meeting at approximately 6:55 p.m. on May 19th, 2020. To be notified of all future live stream Township meetings, please create a YouTube account, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Township of Wyckoff. This regular work session meeting of the Wyckoff Township Committee is now in session. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting appears on our annual schedule of meetings. A copy of said annual schedule has been posted on the bulletin board in Memorial Town Hall. A copy has been filed with the municipal clerk, as well as the Record, the Ridgewood News, and the North Jersey Herald and News. All newspapers having a general circulation throughout the Township of Wyckoff. At least 48 hours prior to this meeting, the agenda thereof was similarly posted, filed, and mailed to said newspapers.
Thank you, Nancy. Have we confirmed the Finance Committee has reviewed and signed all vouchers and that I and the municipal clerk have signed all necessary documents?
Yes, we
Yes,
have,
Mr. Mayor.
Okay, great. Thank you. Can I get a motion to open to the public for 10-minute public comment period for 2 minutes per speaker for any comment on any governmental issue that a member of the public feels may be of concern to the residents of Wyckoff? Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Boonstra?
Yes.
Ms. Fisher?
Yes.
Ms. Rubenstein?
Yes.
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Mayor Shanley?
Yes. And Nancy, the telephone number for public comment is, can you state it so we can let the public know?
Yes, one moment. I'm just going to get the link to the meeting onto
Okay.
our website. In order to dial in by telephone, you had to register for the webinar, and then you would receive the telephone number.
Okay, did anybody register or we don't know?
I don't have any registrants, but I posted the meeting on link to the website.
Okay.
Possible we could have someone join. So if we give a minute or two.
Is there a telephone number we're gonna give out, or you don't need to do that? I'm just curious.
They would have to register in order to get the telephone number. It's not a telephone number I can give them.
All right.
Not,
I gave a resident the wrong information today. I'm sorry. Sorry, resident.
okay. Well, if they dial in on the number that you received with your invitation, they would connect to the
Wait.
meeting, but as a webinar participant. So it looks like we have the Santa Moros watching as attendees. But those are the only two people. Perhaps they want to make a comment.
All right, hearing no comment, can I get a motion to close public comment section?
So moved. Second.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Boonstra,
Yes.
Ms. Fisher,
Yes.
Ms. Rubenstein,
Yes.
Mr. Madigan,
Yes,
Mayor Shanley.
Yes. Okay, Bob, can we review the 8 PM business meeting agenda, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. The agenda which is presented was issued last Friday and posted on our website where agendas are routinely posted. It included the resolutions and ordinances. I would like to point out that tonight at the 8 o'clock meeting, we have a public hearing to accept public comment for the Township's 2020 Bergen County Open Space Park Improvement Grant. The public comment is for the public to make any comments regarding what they think or suggest the grant should consist of. I would like to point out that the township is in compliance with the Bergen County mandated rules, which require the township to pay for and publish 2 adverts 10 days before tonight's hearing. Those were performed. The township exceeds the Bergen County rules. Our 2 notices have been posted for 10 days on our website at legal notices from the municipal clerk, and a declaration of intent to file a grant application, which explains the current grant application ideas, has been posted on our website as well. I do have a number of resolutions I would like to suggest to you. One resolution, which I would describe as noteworthy, with your approval, is on the agenda. It's been proposed by our Chief Financial Officer. She has identified a 4th safe and convenient method to allow residents and property owners to pay taxes and sewer charges with technology, the pay by phone option. We hope this will be helpful to our property owners. The next type of resolutions I'd like to review with you are proposed resolutions for your consideration to be added to the agenda this evening. The first resolution happened this week where our deputy registrar, who will be our new registrar effective June 1, with the retirement of our longtime and esteemed clerk, Mrs. Santamoro, received a call from the Department of Health, and the registrar and the deputy registrar have to be appointed by resolution. Therefore, I whipped up a quick resolution to that effect. Resolutions 2005 and 2006 are resolutions which would award contracts from the New Jersey State contract for the purchase of a fire command vehicle and the safety emergency lighting that is installed on that fire command vehicle. Both procurements have been budgeted for in the 2020 budget. The last resolution to propose for tonight is I had a call this morning from the town engineer. A builder of a commercial building in the Triangle needs to do a road opening, which would require a temporary road closing for the installation of FiOS communication service, which is an underground utility service for the new property on Everett Avenue. That resolution would authorize the closure of the road. So those are four proposed additions for this evening. For your convenience, Mrs. Cole sent a revised agenda later this afternoon or earlier this evening to you, which included those resolutions. I also have revised page 5 of the work session meeting minutes, and they were sent, I believe, on Monday. I would like to point out that the agenda includes a proclamation which will honor and recognize Municipal Clerk Joyce Santamoro for her 31-year career serving the Wyckoff taxpayers. Truly extraordinary. We also have scheduled on the agenda a public hearing and further consideration of ordinance number 1914. This ordinance would appropriate funds for the 2020 road resurfacing program and the replacement of the 1955 roof over Town Hall. That's the update I have on the agenda. I'd be happy to take any questions regarding that update.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob. Do you want to review the policy action items?
If I could, Mr. Mayor, I just have a few. I would just like to point out that in accordance with the direction from the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs, I've been providing a weekly update on non-essential projects. That was again provided to you on Friday. I also would like to report that the declaration of intent to file a grant was submitted on May 15th, and receipt was acknowledged by the county. That in no way affects the public hearing, and it allows us to move forward. I also wanted to point out that last Wednesday, I issued a memorandum to the Town Hall and Recreation Department staff regarding a phase-in process to put us on the path to return to the new normal, hopefully when we defeat this COVID-19 virus. I would like to point out that I was able to obtain 50 face shields from PepsiCo company, and those are being those are available to our employees. I would also like to point out to you that the governor issued an executive order that in regard to the election administration process for the July 7th primary election. We are studying those changes with assistance from Mrs. Santamoro. She has contacted the County of Bergen, and they said they are studying those changes and what that means, and we are waiting for instructions from the county for the guidance and instruction as it relates to the election administration process. And I think that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Bob. I'll go to reports of township committee members. I will go in the order of how they're showing up on my screen. So I'll go with Beth Fisher first, please.
Okay. One thing I'd like to mention is that the Partners in Pride planted all of the concrete planters around town. And there are 4 around Town Hall, which Mr. Shannon volunteered to water, and 1 on the corner, which I volunteered to water. And I think Rudy has some assigned to him at Russell Farms. So they look great. They're even starting to bloom with the warm weather. So I just wanted to thank all the Partners in Pride members for doing the plantings and the waterings. There weren't any other liaison meetings that I attended as a liaison, except for the Board of Ed meeting last night. It was kind of business as usual. The only thing of note is they decided to use their snow days to move up the end of school. So the last day of school is June 18th. And they are moving ahead with planning their summer academies as a virtual experience for the students. They're not planning to meet in person for that. And that's it.
Thank you, Beth. Next up on my screen is Tom.
Yes, good evening, everybody. Just as a follow-up to our May 5th meeting, just want to give you an update on the parade committee. The committee is finalizing the video right now. And again, we're asking the town to help out with e-blasting out the video, e-blast out to our residents. So we're asking them to go out and honor our deceased on Memorial Day with flags, U.S. flags, other patriotic gestures. And we're also going to have our houses of worship ring their bells at noontime. And I'd just like to read into the record a resolution recognizing Wyckoff's fallen that was always read at the Memorial Day service, but we're not having that service this year. But salute to these that gave their lives. I just want to read that into the record. Whereas the Township of Wyckoff commemorates the month of May with the Remember and Honor flag, where we give thanks to those who lost their lives and have served with patriotism. And whereas Memorial Day in history was once known as Decoration Day, it was first celebrated after the Civil War. And whereas the last Monday in May, Americans commemorate military personnel who died in all wars, including World War I, World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and the wars in Iraq and in Afghanistan. And whereas this year on May 8th marked the 75th anniversary of Victory Europe, where over 400,000 Americans lost their lives in World War II, and they're recognized and thanked for their patriotism from a grateful nation at the World War II Memorial with a simple phrase: "Here we mark the price of freedom." Whereas Memorial Day is a rich tradition in Wyckoff, including a solemn ceremony of those fallen heroes from town who made the supreme sacrifice, and we annually salute these heroes. From World War I, Zachary Masker. From World War II, Edgar O. Anthony, Alfred W. Boney, A. Sidney Booth, Orrin F. Crankshaw, Frank Hopper Jr., William J. Kelly, Arnold Kreisch, Robert Logan, Edward T. Cully, Gene Laux, William A. Mills, C. William Schlens, Edward R. Snyder, William Van Blocken Jr., Roland Van Sickle, Theodore K. Weish, Edward Woodbury, John M. Payne, William R. Ullman. From the Korean conflict, Everett Patton Jr., Vietnam, James L. Geigel, John A. Greiner, Robert H. Vennick, Joseph C. Wiltsey. Whereas in 2020, due to COVID-19 virus, there was no formal ceremony or parade. And the Memorial Day Parade Committee has planned a video of tribute for 2020. Remember the fallen, honor the living, and neighbors in town will pay tribute with American flags and other patriotic gestures, including ringing of bells at our houses of worship. And whereas we are grateful and extend sincere special thanks to our Wyckoff Parade Committee, including many from VFW Post 7086, for their dedication and commitment to honor and pay tribute to those soldiers who joined and faithfully served in our country's various branches of the military. And whereas we celebrate our hard-won freedoms, we remember their sacrifice and we forget them not. May God bless and watch over all our members of the armed forces. May God bless Wyckoff, and may God bless America. And whereas President Lincoln proclaimed at Gettysburg that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Now therefore be it resolved that May 2020, we salute and pay tribute and say thank you for the service and sacrifice of our veterans and fallen heroes as we keep their spirit alive. And be it further resolved that Memorial Day in Wyckoff speaks to our cherished freedom, our families, our fundamental right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I just
Thank you,
wanted to
Tom.
put that in there, noted for the record, particularly this year, which there is no ceremony, which I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, and I think it's pertinent to mention these people, and I'm happy to
If I
do it.
could join, oh, Tom, are you done?
Yeah, sure.
If I could just join in, just speaking historically, as long as I can remember, we've always read the names every Memorial Day of the honored, Wyckoff's honored dead, which Tom has done tonight, which I really appreciate. I think it's fine because it will not happen at the memorial this year, unfortunately, due to COVID-19. And I know we already have another resolution 20-197 on the consent agenda, but I'd like to make a motion that we actually include Tom's resolution also in tonight's meeting, so that the names of the honored Wyckoff dead can actually be spread upon the minutes of this meeting, each individually. So I'd like to put that in a motion, Mayor, if I could.
Sure.
I'll second that. Good idea.
Okay. Do we want to call that to a vote now, Bob?
Yes, Nancy, would you please do a voice vote?
Absolutely. Mr. Boonstra,
Yes.
Ms. Fisher,
Yes.
Ms. Rubenstein,
Yes.
Mr. Madigan,
Yes,
Mayor Shanley.
Yes, thank you, Tom, for putting that together, because, yeah, and it's important that those names be read. And it's unfortunate that the COVID-19 pandemic has pretty much canceled most Memorial Day remembrance ceremonies nationwide because of the fear of spreading this virus. But having that read and remembering those names is very important. So thank you for putting that together. I have a younger brother who is a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army, who was notified today that he's going to be promoted to colonel. So he's served in Afghanistan, he's served in Iraq, and he's still active. So thank you for remembering our military men and women who are fighting for our freedom and risking their lives on a daily basis, and remembering those who already lost their lives in the family. So thank you. Do you have anything further, Tom?
yeah, let me just give you a quick update on Memorial Field. Those that have driven by the library, by the fire stations, will see there's much progress that has been made. The field is all cleared. The last couple of days, they've been pouring concrete on the apron and the surrounding area that ties the turf in. And next they'll be moving on to drainage, then the turf, and they're still on schedule to be ready to go hopefully by the middle of June. Weather permitting, the weather's been good, so they're working hard. It's going to be really nice for so many in town. The next thing I have is high school graduation 2020. They had a goal of recognizing their students and congratulating them in some manner, or signage or banners, and kicking around the last few weeks. And I understand that today officially that they've worked out details and finalized having signs around town. So I don't know, Tim, I think you know more.
Yes, Bev McKay, the superintendent, had called me yesterday to discuss it. And I had reached out to John Carolyn on the board as well. If John has worked out an agreement with the property owner next door to us, next door to Town Hall, where they're going to put up a 2-by-4 foot sign recognizing the graduates of 2020 from Ramapo and Indian Hills. So tonight I'd like to make a motion that we approve a sign permit to allow them to have that up for 2 weeks on that property. And then I want to also put a motion together to put the same sign over by our flagpole by the library, which is our public forum area, to put a congratulatory sign for those 2020 graduates.
Just while we're on that subject, in
Mhm.
dialogue back and forth over the last couple of weeks, I said we're not going to do any banners. I suggested some sign locations in town, suggested they apply for approval. I don't know if they did that. I only found out this morning that this is all worked out, but I do know there are other locations in town, so.
Yeah, I don't know the other locations. The only location I know is the gas station property right next to us, right next to Town Hall. So I'd like to ask that we approve, and knowing that they want to put one there, that we approve that now so that they have the permit in order to put it there.
Right, well, I know
'cause-
they're doing Dairy Queen. I know they're doing the gas station.
Okay.
I know they're doing the corner of Russell and,
I think it would be nice for us as a township to put it in our public forum, government speech area, to put the sign as well.
Just a point of clarification, the library flagpole is not a public forum, but it's a place of government speech.
Government speech, correct. I misspoke. Thank you. Thank you for correcting me, Rob. So yeah, that'd be our government speech, congratulatory message to the graduates of Indian Hills and Ramapo, since
okay.
we have quite a few from Wyckoff in both schools.
And then I just have,
Clarification.
what?
How long are we proposing to have the signs in place?
I'd say, what do we normally do for the Y? 10 days or 14? What's the typical permit?
It can be up to 14 days.
All right, so up to 14 days.
Okay, I just went one other thing. I was speaking to the president of the Chamber of Commerce, and we know it's been a challenge for all of our residents, a challenge for our merchants. They're doing the best they can. The restaurants are doing takeout. The restaurants are working within the community to help feed first responders and other folks. But we did have a short dialogue as far as what happens next, what happens when restaurants are allowed to open, and what that schedule would be. And the conversation kind of moved into, is there some way the town would be amenable or would work out with the chamber for the year 2020, some sort of expansion of outside dining or discussion where things are going to be limited. I thought it was a good idea. I just bring it up for discussion or comment or whatever, information, I guess.
Yeah, when in dining it starts coming back and relaxing of the executive order, it's going to be first for outside dining. That's the message that's coming out of Trenton right now from the governor's office. So we would have to work out something regarding possible outside dining for some of these restaurants.
I mean, I'd be happy to serve on a subcommittee, whatever you want to do, or liaison, but I think it's better to plan and kick the tires.
Yeah, I think that's something we're going to have to do, because that's the first restriction on dining that's going to happen other than takeout. So I'd be happy to serve on a subcommittee with you, Tom.
So, thank you.
Okay, next, Melissa.
Sure.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me if I may, Melissa, thank you. As it relates to Tom's report, shouldn't there be a motion, a second, and a voice vote to allow temporary signs for up to 14
Correct.
days at the locations described as the gas station on Franklin Avenue next to Town Hall, the Dairy Queen, and the property at the apex of the curve at Russell and Wyckoff Avenue, which is, I thought, Mr. Madigan's report. Just to be thorough and complete, it might make sense to request a motion in a second, and then that can be completed under his report.
Well, I will make the motion to approve the permit for those locations. I'll need a second.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
I mean, I just have one discussion point.
Mhm.
Because there was another spot, I don't know if it's on the list or not, and since I don't have the list in front of me, and since I was the one a couple of weeks ago that provided the list, I just can't think of one other place. So if we put those spots or as per the list, is that okay with everybody? I just don't have it in front of me. I can't think of the other place.
It was it Boulder Run?
No.
Okay.
Can't
Yeah, I
think
don't
of
know what the other.
5
I
places.
believe it's a possibility if it's approved on the Christian Healthcare Center property at the end of Cedar Hill Ave.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Okay.
All
All
right,
right.
think about it.
Well, all 5 of those, I'll make the motion to approve a 14-day maximum permit to put those signs up.
Okay, and then Melissa seconds.
Yes.
May I have a roll call? Mr. Boonstra,
Yes,
Ms. Fisher,
Yes.
Ms. Rubenstein, Mr.
She might have froze.
It looks frozen.
I think she's frozen.
Okay, we'll go back to her. Mr. Madigan
Yes,
and Mayor Shanley.
Yes. Yeah, somehow she froze.
Sorry,
Oh, she's
my
back.
internet froze for a few minutes.
Okay,
So yes, for
so
me.
Ms. Rubenstein, yes.
Yes, perfect.
Okay,
All right, do we want to have any sign over by the flagpole? I'll make a motion that we put the sign, one of the signs at our flagpole as our congratulatory message from the Township Committee.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Mr. Boonstra,
yes,
Ms. Fisher,
Yes.
Ms. Rubenstein,
Yes.
Mr. Madigan,
Yes,
and Mayor Shanley.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we're now on to Melissa for your report.
So zoning board is meeting on Thursday. We didn't have a meeting last month, but we're going to be meeting via Zoom on Thursday. So I'll report at the next meeting. And then I have a couple of things from the fire department. The first one is that our 2019 Spartan fire engine has been approved. Our guys went down to New Brunswick to the Campbell factory and they approved the Spartan, went through all the inspections, and we're expecting it to come up to Wyckoff Friday afternoon, late afternoon. So that'll be really exciting.
great.
Second thing, last week, an electric pole outside of Company 2 was unfortunately hit by a drunk driver. So it is now, yes, Tom, it was sort of,
Fortunately, we ought to get it.
hopefully the person who was driving was okay. It's been a source of contention for a while because
Right.
other people have hit it. And so we finally got PSE&G to move the pole. It was 10 to 12 feet. I don't know exactly. But the pole's been moved now so that hopefully no one else will hit it.
Excellent.
And thank you to Kevin Rooney and Krista Phillips for calling and advocating that on our behalf. And it didn't cost us, the taxpayers, any money at all. So that was a good thing.
I mean, thanks for Rudy for thinking of that, because he and I were there the morning after the accident, planning and plotting, right, Rudy?
absolutely. We're always planning and plotting.
Well, it ended up well. The third thing I have is the chief's vehicle. So our chief and our assistant chief have been kind of scouring dealerships looking for a new chief's vehicle, which they very much need and budgeted for within the budget this year. And they have located one, and it's on a resolution for tonight. So I urge you to, approve the funding of this and the purchase of it, because these vehicles seem to be going very quickly. People have them on hold, and by the time you go back to them, it's gone. So this one fits the specs that we need. Wanted to address why it's not a hybrid. As was explained to me, when you put the box and the tools into the truck, it's too heavy for the suspension of the current hybrid vehicles. We need something that can support a heavier load. So that's why we are going to get the truck that they've picked out. It's a Chevy, and I believe it's coming in under what we budgeted. So,
Excellent.
and that's it.
Okay, thank you, Melissa. Rudy?
I have no report, Mayor. Bob, do we wish to talk about the Morley Avenue, Wild Duck Road easement and store extension? You have that on as needing of action tonight.
Yes, Rudy,
And I can take the lead on that if you would like. I didn't know when you wanted to do that. It's number 2A on our items for discussion.
yes, Rudy, why don't you take the lead on it, and let's address it at this point.
All right. There is a, and if I'm repeating myself to anyone, apologies. Several decades ago, when the sewers were put in on Wild Duck Road, the planners, to their credit, obtained an easement between two of the lots and installed a dry sewer line in the direction of Morley Drive, which is a parallel street to Wild Duck, behind the houses on Wild Duck, and then one lot away from Morley for the houses that front on Morley. We have a situation where we have two homeowners who are willing to, at no cost, grant an easement in favor of the township, so we can extend a sewer main from the end of the easement at the backyard of the Wild Duck property through those two lots and place a manhole in Morley Drive, which will in the future open up Morley and Dale and Leonard, approximately 40 homes, to possibility of installing sewers and sewer those homes. I don't know if everyone looked at the Mark DeGennaro sent the cost estimate and a recommendation. The cost estimate is a little less than $50,000. And I checked with Diana, it's $49,960, that's $50,000. And I checked with Diana this afternoon. We have that amount of money in our sewer cap fund. And the discussion is, and what we're possibly looking for approval tonight, is to go ahead and have Rob begin the process of obtaining the easement through those two lots, and then appropriating the funds to construct a sewer line to extend that dry sewer from that is currently off of Wild Duck out into the middle of Morley. I think if we do that at our expense, and it's not a lot of money, we have the money, that also shows a good faith effort on our part, and perhaps in the future when another project is due, we can enlist the help of the folks at the Northwest Bergen Sewer Authority to make an offer similar to the one that we're dealing with in the Knolls. So, any questions of myself or Bob or Tom on this?
Home run.
Yeah, it's an opportunity that may not come our way in another several decades, that we have the two homeowners that we need who are willing to do this and are kind of anxious to do it. So if I hear no objection, I guess I'll make a motion. Bob, was that what you would like as a motion on this?
Yes, Rudy, if we could have a motion, a second, and a voice vote.
I'll
I'll
second
make
it.
a motion.
Oh, he didn't make the motion yet. Want to make it?
Oh, on my screen he did.
Well, I could actually put my comments in the form of a motion, but the motion is to authorize the sewer subcommittee, the sewer committee, namely Tom and myself, and Rob Lindell and Mark DeGenero to move ahead with acquiring the easement from the two property owners and proceeding with installing a pipe between the dry sewer off of Wild Duck and to the middle of Morley Drive.
Yeah, I'll second that.
May I have a voice vote? Mr. Boonstra,
Yes.
Ms. Fisher,
Yes.
Ms. Rubenstein,
Yeah, she's on mute.
Yeah.
thank you. Mr. Madigan,
Yes,
Mayor Shanley.
Yes, and thank you, Rudy, for putting it into a detailed motion.
Thank you, everyone. That's all I have to.
All right, thank you. I will give a brief update. Obviously I've been doing my nightly updates on how we're doing. We're doing much better fighting this pandemic than we were a month ago. We hit our peak sometime in the middle of April. Since then, the hospitalizations, patients on ventilators, patients in ICU have gone down by almost 75%, which is a good thing. And today's positives for the state were 1,055. So we're getting closer to where we hopefully are going under 1,000 with the positives, because New Jersey's got 149,013 positives. That's a lot. Our surrounding counties haven't been doing as good as Bergen. Bergen has been doing a lot better lately, but Hudson and Passaic have not been doing as good, although they did well today. Essex County went up 460 positives yesterday. A lot came out of Newark. So I'm not going back to work down in Newark anytime soon. That's for sure. I'll be working from home until Essex County gets it a little bit better under control. They were better today. Every county in the state was under 100 positives, which is why we only are at 1,055 today. And a lot of that has to do with our social distancing, washing our hands, and wearing those face coverings, because the face covering is protecting anybody you come in contact with, just like them wearing the face mask is protecting you if they come in contact with it and you have the virus. So it's helping stop the spread. The governor has started slowly releasing some of the restrictions that have been on our businesses. The governor's aides have been doing weekly conference calls with the mayors of Bergen County and other counties. And it got a little contentious last Friday, where there was a lot of pressure being put on those aides to start loosening up, because the businesses need to start getting back to business, or they're going to all go out of business. So I don't know if that's why, but now they've limited the conference calls with the mayors to Tuesdays twice a month instead of 4 times a month on Fridays. So I'm not going to have a conference call this week. There's going to be one next week, and then the next one's not going to be for 2 weeks. But a lot of those conference calls, and them hearing from the mayors, including me, about the need to start lessening these restrictions, or else we're going to have all these businesses go out of business, has helped, because they're the ones that get into the room with the governor. Fortunately, the governor does not have any direct communication with the mayors. He sends his chief aides to do it, and the aides then have to come back to him with what the mayors want. So I don't have a direct communication to Governor Murphy, but his aides have been working to try to advise us where they're going. And one of the things that, the next thing that they're probably going to do is, the restaurants are going to be able to do outdoor dining. Libraries may be able to do curbside. I've been working with Laura Leonard, our library director, and the library board, which I sit on as a liaison from the township committee, to try to be ready for when the restrictions get released on the library, so we can hit the ground running the minute that the restriction gets lifted, and we have all the proper procedures in place, the proper protections for the employees of the library and for the staff, and the cleaning process that needs to be done, the plexiglass that may need to be up when you're checking out a book, how long the books when they come back have to sit in quarantine before they're put back on the shelf. That those are all issues that have to be worked out before anything happens with the library. And the library is going to do another Zoom meeting tomorrow, which I'll be part of. So we've been we've kept all our meetings with the Zoom meetings. So that's going to take place on the 20th. And that's why I put on, Beth Fisher and I interviewed Ms. Cohen to fill the spot of Brian Eller, who resigned from the board. So it helps that we continue with our business at the library so that we're able to have a full quorum when the Zoom meetings happen. So thank you, Beth, for taking the time to set up the Zoom meeting for me and then participate in the Zoom meeting. She was she's very intelligent. She is, she was a VP of the Friends of the Library, and she sounds like she'll be a wonderful addition to the library board. So it's on the consent agenda, recommendations from both Beth and I that she be appointed to fill the vacancy. And it will be to fill Brian Eller's vacancy, which ends at the end of the year. So it's, Brian was due to be up, but he decided it was time and he resigned last month. I think that's about, the planning board meeting also met, we met by Zoom. There were no applications that were heard. It was just approving some of the payment vouchers and the minutes from the last meeting. Other than that, nothing happened at that meeting. That was another Zoom meeting as well. So I don't have anything further. Oh, wait, there is one thing that came in today. I sent an email to everybody today. In my bin, when I opened up, I got a letter from the New Jersey League of Municipalities dated May 8th. And it says, "Dear Mayor Shanley, congratulations. It is my pleasure to inform you that Matthew Murphy has been selected as one of 3 statewide winners in the Lewis Bay Second Future Municipal Leaders Scholarship Competition. 45 municipalities submitted entries for this 26th annual scholarship competition, and choosing finalists and winners was quite difficult. So I want to congratulate Matthew Murphy, a resident of the Township of Wyckoff and a student at Ramapo High School, and the son of our police chief, Dave Murphy, on this wonderful accomplishment of winning a $1,000 scholarship for writing a winning essay."
Great.
So,
Congratulations.
yes, and then we will bring Matthew and his family in to a public meeting to give him the certificate of participation and the winning of it, which I can show you here, which I have in an envelope sent by the League of Municipalities. Once this COVID-19 restriction on public meetings is lifted, we want to make sure we do this safely. And we will bring him in to thank him for submitting the essay and congratulate him on winning. It's a tremendous accomplishment.
How about the check? How's you gonna get the check?
I can leave it so that Dave can get it. I don't want the check to go bad. It's there. I do have it right here. So I will leave it for Bob Shannon to put it into the bin for Dave Murphy to take home to Matthew. But it's a tremendous accomplishment.
Fantastic.
Yep. All right, that's the end of my report. I guess we still have 8 minutes. Report of the township attorney. Rob, do you have anything?
Sure, quickly. I got into contact with the attorney for Sarna or Maple Lake. And they're, I think, putting the final touches on the final subdivision plan. So once I get that in, I'll start putting the application together for the subdivision, which will put us in a position to consummate the transaction.
That's great news.
Yeah. Bob and I have been working on the last few pieces of our COA case, so I can get the application before the court. We're just waiting for the spending plan to come in from our planner, Beth, and we hope to have that any day. I think Rudy already touched upon the Northwest Bergen, I'm sorry, with regards to the sewer extension onto Morley. Been working on that, and also submitted the final subdivision application to the county for the land swap we did over the Brackett property. So I'll keep you updated on that, but that should be completed pretty soon.
Excellent.
Okay.
All right. Any other business we have for the work session? All right. I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Boonstra,
Yes.
Ms. Fisher,
Yes.
Ms. Rubenstein,
Yes.
Mr. Madigan,
Yes.
Mayor Shanley.
Yes. All right. We got 6 minutes before 8. So if anyone needs to use the restroom or grab yourself another beverage, you got some time. Thank you.
Okay.
And then the Reverend Nancy will call us at 8 o'clock, calling my phone, or?
The Reverend will call your cell phone. Yes.
All right. I will then put it on speaker. All right. We are 1 minute away.
I was trying to keep the balance going between businesses and the safety. People, it's got to be crazy.
Here and start. Okay, we have everybody back here. I will call the regular meeting of the Wyckoff Township Committee to order, please.
Shall we do the flag salute?
Yeah, I don't just, are we live?
Yes.
All right, we're live. Okay. All right, let's stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I do have the invocation by Senior Pastor Scott Bostic. He's on my phone, so let me know if you can hear him. I've got my volume up on the phone very loud. Can you hear it? Go ahead, Pastor.
Okay. Let us pray. God of creation, God of grace, and God of mercy, you breathed this world into existence, and you formed humans in your image to care for your creation. However, we live in a broken world fraught with environmental challenges and diseases, much of which is of our own doing. Forgive us, we pray, and enable all of us to work together to combat and find a cure for COVID-19. And in so doing, we ask that you protect all of our frontline heroes, our emergency responders, fire, police, EMT, physicians, and healthcare workers. Protect also those who serve their community in administration, public works, grocers, letter carriers, package delivery, and others. And as they meet to find solutions, anoint this committee, which needs to make difficult decisions for our community, decisions for both the safety of all and the economic welfare of Wyckoff. Give them wisdom, give them grace in all that they do, so that this scourge of disease might be quickly overcome. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Father. Appreciate it. Have a
All right.
great night.
Have a good meeting, everyone.
Okay. Nancy, can we get a reading of the Open Public Meetings Act statement?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Please take notice that in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, PSA 10:4-6 et sec, and in consideration of Executive Order Number 103, issued by Governor Murphy on March 9th, declaring a state of emergency in the state of New Jersey, the Township Committee of the Township of Wyckoff does hereby notify the public that to protect the health, safety, and welfare of our citizens while ensuring the continued functioning of government, the meeting of the Township Committee of the Township of Wyckoff, scheduled for 8 p.m. Tuesday, May 19th, 2020 at Wyckoff Town Hall, 340 Franklin Avenue, Wyckoff, New Jersey, 07481, will be conducted virtually through Zoom technology, and it will be live streamed on the Township of Wyckoff's YouTube channel. Due to the COVID-19 public health emergency, members of the public will not have access to Town Hall. These measures are implemented to allow members of the public to observe the meeting via live streaming and to provide the ability to comment during the periods for public comment during the meeting through Zoom telephone call-in technology. Joining the meeting by telephone will be utilized as security against the sharing of inappropriate video content. General instructions regarding access to the meeting will be posted on the Wyckoff website's homepage at wyckoff-nj.com as a news item on Friday, May 15th, 2020 at 4:30 p.m. To view the live streamed Township Committee meeting, please access the YouTube link, which will be posted on the Wyckoff website's homepage at wyckoff-nj.com as a news item immediately prior to the commencement of the meeting at approximately 6:55 PM on May 19th, 2020. To be notified of all future live streamed township meetings, please create a YouTube account and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Township of Wyckoff. This regular meeting of the Township Committee of the Township of Wyckoff is now in session. In accordance with Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, I wish to advise that notice of this meeting has been posted on the bulletin board in Memorial Town Hall and on our Township Committee website page. A copy has been filed with the Township Clerk, and copies were sent to the Ridgewood News, the Record, and to the North Jersey Herald and News, all newspapers with general circulation throughout the Township of Wyckoff. At least 48 hours prior to this meeting, the agenda was similarly posted, filed, and mailed to said newspapers.
Thank you, Nancy. Can I get a motion for public comment period, 5 minutes per speaker for public comment on any governmental issue that a member of the public feels may be of concern to the residents of the Township of Wyckoff?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Boonstra,
Yes.
Ms. Fisher,
Yes.
Ms. Rubenstein, Mr. Madigan,
Yes,
Mr. Shanley.
Yes.
yes, yes,
Mr. Mayor, we have several attendees who may wish to speak. So I'll unmute them one at a time.
Okay.
First, we have Debbie Maloney.
Hi, Miss Maloney, can you hear us?
Yes, yes, I can.
Hi, can you just state your name and your address for your comments?
Sure. My name is Debbie Maloney, 294 Meadowbrook Road here in Wyckoff. I have to say, I've done a lot of Zoom, but this is very cool.
Thank you.
I also want to thank you all and the town, and especially Mayor Shanley, for keeping us all informed as to what is going on the state and the county and the local level. I can tell you in conversation with many of my friends that we so much appreciate what all of you have been doing for our lovely township of Wyckoff. I have no questions. I'm really here just to observe. Thank you again.
Thank you for your comments, Miss Maloney. Have a great night.
Next, we have Mr. Ed Kalpagian.
Hi, Mr. Kalpagian. Can you state your name and your address for the record?
Yeah, Ed Kalpagian, 488 Fairfield Road.
Thank you for coming. State your comments, Mr. Kalpagian. Thank you.
I really have no comments. I just wanted to thank you all for taking the time out to out of all your busy days and doing this, keeping the township running through Zoom. So I just want to say thank you all, each and every one of you.
Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you.
I'm busy.
Do we have any others, Nancy?
Yes, we have Mr. Mike Homachek.
Okay.
One moment, let me get him unmuted.
Yeah, we gotta get him unmuted. Well, maybe you have to mute Miss Maloney because it looks like she's unmuted. There, that should allow you to unmute Mr. Homachek.
One moment.
No.
He must have himself muted.
All right. Mr. Homachek, if you can hear us, unmute yourself. He just sent a written message, no comment.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks. Anyone else in there or that wants to make a comment?
There is no one else besides our municipal clerk, Joyce Santamaro, who is just actively watching.
Okay. Why don't we just give it another 20 seconds to see if anyone pops in there.
Of
And
course.
then I'll ask for a motion to close. All right, seeing no one else, can I get a motion to close the public comment section?
So moved.
Second,
Mr. Boonstra,
Yes.
Ms. Fisher,
yes.
Ms. Rubenstein,
Yes.
Mr. Madigan? Mr. Madigan, you're muted.
I still say yes. I'll say it a little louder and I'll get closer to the mic. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mayor Shanley?
Yes. All right, we are up to a public hearing on the Bergen County Open Space Grant application for municipal park improvement to receive public comment. Can I get a motion to open the public comment for this this application?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Boonstra,
Yes.
Ms. Fisher,
Yes.
Ms. Rubenstein,
Yes.
Mr. Madigan,
Yes.
Mayor Shanley?
Yes. All right, this is the time for public comment, 2 minutes per speaker for public comment on the Bergen County Open Space Grant application. If anyone wants to comment, let us know.
Can I make a comment?
Go ahead.
I think it's a great application. Thanks, Bob, for all the time putting it together. And just for clarity, could you tell me again who made the motion and who seconded it?
To open the public comment period, Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
To open the public comment period for this open space grant application, Ms. Fisher made the motion and Ms. Rubenstein seconded it.
Thank you.
All right, hearing no public comment, can I get a motion to close public comment?
So moved.
May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Boonstra,
Yes.
Ms. Fisher,
Yes.
Ms. Rubenstein,
Yes.
Mr. Madigan,
Yes.
Mayor Shanley?
Yes. Can I get a motion to approve the May 5th, 2020 Township Committee work session and regular business meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Fisher,
Yes.
Ms. Rubenstein,
Yes.
Mr. Madigan,
Yes.
Mayor Shanley?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we're up to the consent agenda. Nancy, can you read the consent agenda?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. All matters listed below are considered by the Township Committee to be routine in nature. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If any discussion is desired by the Township Committee, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. First, we have resolutions. Number 20-197, commemorate Memorial Day. Number 20-198, cancellation of sewer bill. Number 20-199, approval of vouchers and authorization to pay bills. Number 20-200, return of certain overpaid taxes. Number 20-201, May recognized as Honor and Remember Month. Number 20-202, celebrate National Police Week. Number 20-203, authorize pay by phone for taxes and sewer service. Number 20-204, appointment of registrar and deputy registrar of vital statistics. Number 20-205, authorized purchase of fire command vehicle from New Jersey State contract. Number 20-206, authorized purchase and installation of safety emergency lighting on fire command vehicle. Number 20-207, authorized road closure and detour route. We have no ordinances for introduction. And we have 4 motions. Number 1, approve the temporary installation of a tent and a sign on the church grounds at Grace United Methodist Church. Number 2, authorize application to Bergen County Planning Board for subdivision of Block 203, lots 1.02 and 1.03. Proclamation thanking and recognizing Municipal Clerk Joyce C. Santamoro for her 31 years of service to the township. And number 4, appointment of Lauren Cohen to fill the unexpired term on the Wyckoff Library Board of Brian Eller, which was expiring on December 31st, 2020, which is vacant due to his resignation. May I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Comment, please. Comment.
Go ahead.
On the number three motion, proclaiming and thanking, recognizing Joyce Santamoro, I'd like to have that separated from the consent agenda motion. Can we do that?
Yes, we can. We can have that separate.
Thank you.
So,
Just a point of procedure, I think we need to withdraw the second and the motion because we're gonna have to re-motion it if we're gonna do it.
Right,
separately, which
that is
fine
true.
with me.
Yeah, you can re-motion it now.
Well, we have a motion on the table, Tom.
Yeah, I seconded Tom's motion, so we have to vote on that.
We gotta technically remove the previous motion.
Right.
Rudy's right.
Rudy's correct. He's, so Nancy, you just got to call Tom's motion to a vote.
one moment. May I have a vote on Mr. Madigan's motion to remove the proclamation recognizing Municipal Clerk Joyce Santamoro from the consent agenda?
Yes.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I thought I
Second.
made the motion.
Tom made the motion. I seconded it.
Oh, you're the second. Okay, thank you.
I'm the second.
Mayor.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Boonstra,
Yes.
Ms. Fisher,
Yes.
Ms. Rubenstein,
Yes.
Mr. Madigan,
Well, I made the
and
motion.
Mr. Shanley.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now we need somebody to make a motion to approve the revised consent agenda. Can I get a motion for the consent agenda?
I move to approve the revised
Okay.
consent agenda.
I'll second it.
I'll
Thank
second.
you. Mr. Boonstra,
Yes.
Ms. Fisher,
Yes.
Ms. Rubenstein,
Yes.
Mr. Madigan,
Yes.
Mayor Shanley.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, now we need a motion for the proclamation thanking and recognizing the municipal clerk Joyce Santamoro for her 31 years of service to the township.
Okay,
Does somebody want to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Second?
I'll second it.
okay.
Great.
Mr. Boonstra,
Discussion, please.
Sure.
Just on a personal note, I think Joyce and I arrived in town all around the same time. I was newly appointed to the zoning board, and I'm not sure what she was appointed at, but we arrived at the same time, roughly, and I just want to thank her for all the time I've known her in town hall, We're both natives of Wyckoff, so that's a little special to me, and I'm sure to her as well. And I just want to personally thank her for all the time she's put in, and wish her the best.
I also would like to make a comment. First of all, I've had the pleasure of knowing Joyce for a number of years. Our kids were in a couple of different sports together. And then when I got on the township committee, I was in good hands when Joyce was there. And we're gonna miss her. And I just want to say that Joyce, you're as nice on the field as you are off the field. You're as nice in town hall as you are around Wyckoff and the Wyckoff you so much love. So we love you, we thank you, and God bless.
Thank you. Any other comment?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I was planning on asking for the privilege of the floor. Would you mind if I read the proclamation?
Yes, please do.
I was the one that hired Joyce in 1988 and has worked with her, and she has been an invaluable member of the town hall team for 31 years. And I would request the honor of reading this proclamation.
Please do.
Read by the mayor. It's a proclamation of the Township Committee. Whereas Joyce C. Santamoro was hired on October 25th, 1988 as the Planning Board Secretary beginning her career in Wyckoff. And whereas on December 7th, 1993, Joyce was appointed as the Wyckoff Municipal Clerk. And whereas Joyce is the first municipal clerk in the history of the Township of Wyckoff to become a registered municipal clerk and a certified register of vital statistics. And whereas Joyce was the first municipal clerk to implement the Oprah Law, the Legalized Games of Chance Law, and the New Jersey Ethics Law. And whereas Joyce has welcomed residents to the clerk's office with a smile, day after day after day. And whereas Joyce has ensured a smooth election day for more than 60 elections throughout her career. And whereas Joyce has served as the clerk for 25 township committees and with 13 mayors. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Township Committee of the Township of Wyckoff in the County of Bergen in the state of New Jersey that Joyce C. Santamoro is hereby recognized as the quintessential municipal clerk, and she is thanked for serving Wyckoff residents for 31 years. We will miss you, and it's witnessed and signed by Mayor Timothy Shanley, Rudolph E. Boonstra, Elizabeth Fisher, Thomas J. Madigan, and Melissa D. Rubenstein. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob, for reading that. Yes, tonight would have been, if we were in town hall and this pandemic didn't prevent public gatherings, this would have been Joyce's last meeting with us. So we missed that. This pandemic, unfortunately, prevented that from happening, but we are going to miss her. We thank her for her service as clerk and for helping us as Township Committee men and women achieve what we need to do. She helped us in many ways, and she's going to be missed. But the good thing is we'll still see her in town. So we hope she says hello and sees us and stays in touch. So thank you, Joyce, and have a great retirement. Enjoy. If anyone else has any other comment right now, let me know. Otherwise, we'll move on to the ordinances.
I think we need to call her on. Did we call her on this yet?
I have to call a.
Oh, you didn't call the roll. I thought we did already. You sure?
No, only for the motion for the consent agenda. And
Okay, go ahead. I thought we voted.
Mr. Boonstra,
Yes.
Ms. Fisher,
Yes.
Ms. Rubenstein,
Yeah.
Mr. Madigan,
Yes.
Mayor Shanley.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr.
Sorry,
Chairman,
Nancy. Yep, we're up to ordinances.
yes, Mr. Chairman, I have ordinance number 1914 entitled Bond Ordinance Authorizing Road Resurfacing and Improvements to Town Hall in, by, and for the Township of Wyckoff in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, appropriating $1,391,000 $1,775, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,072,000 of bonds or notes of the township to finance part of the cost thereof. Second reading by title only, and a copy of this ordinance has been posted on the bulletin board in Town Hall, where public notices are customarily posted, on the municipal website page entitled Legal Notices from the Clerk, and copies have been made available to members of the general public of the township who have requested the same. Mr. Chairman, would you request a motion?
Yes, can I get a motion for the ordinance?
I move
Open
the
public
motion.
hearing?
Move the ordinance to reading by title only.
Second.
I have a roll call. Mr. Boonstra,
Yes.
Ms. Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Rubenstein, Ms. Rubenstein, excuse me,
Yes.
Mr. Madigan,
Yes.
Mayor Shanley.
Yes. This is the time and place for the public hearing on ordinance number 1914, and all persons who wish to be heard, please state your name and address before making your statement. Public comments are received at this time. I kind of lost my video feed.
All those attendees who are on, if you would like to make a public comment on this bond ordinance, could you please enter something into the chat? And then we will unmute you. It doesn't appear that we have any public comment.
Okay, can I get a motion to close the public comment?
I move that the public hearing on the ordinance be closed.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Boonstra? Ms. Fisher?
Yes.
Ms. Rubenstein?
Yes.
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Mayor Shanley?
Yes.
Thank you. Be it resolved by the Township Committee of the Township of Wykoff that ordinance number 1914B and the same is hereby adopted, and the municipal court clerk is hereby authorized and directed to publish the notice of final passage of said ordinance in the official newspaper for the township as provided by law. Mr. Chairman?
Yes, do you have to call this to a vote?
Mr. Chairman, you should ask for a motion to authorize the resolution.
Can I get a motion can someone move the resolution, please?
Resolution.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Mr. Boonstra?
Yes.
Ms. Fisher?
Yes.
Ms. Rubenstein?
Yes.
Mr. Madigan?
Yeah.
Mayor Shanley?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, does anyone else have anything further?
Will we adjourn?
Yeah, that's what we're up to. Can you still see a video of me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, because I
Look
don't
like
see
you're in a
anything.
fog. Look like you're in a fog, but yeah.
Yeah, I have zero video of anybody right now. I don't know what happened. So maybe it's a good time for a request a motion to adjourn.
I think I just made a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Boonstra?
Yes.
Ms. Fisher?
Yes.
Ms. Rubenstein?
Yes.
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Mayor Shanley?
Yes. All right, thank you. We are concluded.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good
I
night,
wish I
everyone.
knew what happened to my video.
Good night.